Thanks for having me.
I want you to explain to our listeners the saga of Gonzalo Lira. As I understand it, he is an American citizen, but may very well be an asset of the Ukrainian intelligence forces, and the American government doesn't seem to give a damn about him. Can you straighten all this out for us?
Well, Gonzalo Lira is somebody who has a flamboyant past, which is really irrelevant to anything we're about to discuss. He found himself in Ukraine, and when the war started, he started posting, clips of him walking through Kharkiv, discussing what he saw, discussing the war, opining on it, and he developed a very active following on YouTube, on his Telegram channel, on Twitter, and a lot of people, followed him because of his critical voice about the Ukrainian government, about the Ukrainian posture in the war. He was arrested in April of 2022.
Let me just stop you. Is he an American citizen?
He has joint U.S. Chilean citizenship. He has passports from both United States and Chile.
Okay. So who arrested him, and where and when and why?
Well, he was arrested by the Ukrainian intelligence services, the SBU, which is noted for its brutality. They maintain a hit list called the Mirotvorets hit list. I'm on it. It's a death list. The people that are on it are people who speak out critically of the Ukrainian government. Gonzalo Lira is on that list as well, and yet he was arrested and he didn't die. Instead, he was released about 5 days later. They seized his computers, they seized his telephone, but they allowed him to gain access. He was arrested under house arrest. That means, for anybody who doesn't understand it, that you're controlled. When you're under house arrest, you're not free to do what you want. You're you're released on conditions, house arrest. His conditions apparently allowed him to gain access to a new computer, to start up new YouTube channels, and to begin doing the exact same thing he was doing prior to his arrest. In the intelligence business, this is the biggest red flag you could possibly imagine. And at that point in time, I said, and I was straight up about it, that he's a controlled asset of the SBU, that nobody should trust this man, because you can't be allowed to continue doing what you were doing that got you arrested, but now you're doing it under conditions where you're controlled by the SBU. It's clear, 1 + 1 = 2. There's literally no question about this.
So we have an American in Ukraine expressing opinions against the Ukrainian government and against American involvement, much as you and I do from the comfort of our homes in America, although you of course, have done this all over the world. Arrested by the Ukrainian intelligence services, mysteriously released back to his own original criticisms, but now as an asset for them. What does that mean as an asset for them? Is he going to begin to propagandize in favor of Ukraine? Is he going to show some dramatic 180-degree change of heart? Or is he surreptitiously gathering and feeding to them, SBU, intel that they desire?
The role that's being played by Gonzalo Lira is to support Ukraine's ongoing human intelligence collection in support of information warfare objectives. The YouTube channel that he created after his release is known as the Round Table, and it's become a very popular forum in the alternative media world. People flock to the Round Table to appear on the Round Table, where Gonzalo Lira serves as sort of the the conductor of an orchestra, leading questions. Now, what's important here is why he's doing it. The British intelligence services have had a document leaked that gives you insight into Edward Snowden leak, that gives you insight into what kind of information they're looking for, why they carry it out. And a key aspect to the intelligence collection is behavioral science. Basically, how do humans behave? How do groups interact, etc. The Round Table is a petri dish of data collection for assessing these groups, how to form these groups, who's in these groups, how they interact, what questions they ask, who believes what. And you start mapping out the entire universe of the alt universe environment, and you're collecting data on belief systems, belief value, and you build aliases that can be interjected in there and start participating in the conversation and then guiding the conversation. Gonzalo Lira's job isn't to speak in any way. His job is to do what he always did, speak out against the Ukrainian government. But notice, he doesn't bring original content. His job is to serve as an echo chamber of existing beliefs, and then to attract audiences, to collect, so that the SBU and their British and American supporters collect this intelligence to build a giant behavioral psychology model. It's invaluable in the intelligence service. Okay. Mary Johnson, a colleague of mine who disagrees with my assessment on Gonzalo Lira, knows that intelligence service would pay hundreds of millions of dollars for that database, and Gonzalo Lira has given it to him for free.